Hello everyone, Jacob here. Today we're going to talk about a very important structure, to be worth plus a noun or an ing verb. So in Korean, this basically translates to 뭐뭐뭐의 가치가 있다 if you're using it with a noun, or 뭐뭐뭐 할 가치가 있다 if you're using it with an ing verb. Now, I know that in Korean, well, as far as I know, this structure, 뭐뭐의 가치가 있다 and 뭐뭐 할 가치가 있다, is not very common. I don't think so, anyway. But in English, to be worth plus a noun or an ing verb is very common. It's super common. You can use this in a lot of different situations, which is why I'm going to explain it to you today. So first, I want to talk about when and what kind of situations we use this in. The first is just to talk about value. Okay? This word worth is basically just used to talk about value. But there's actually a second usage that I think is a bit more common. It's to talk about whether or not there's enough reason or justification, whether there's enough reason or justification for you to do something. And I think we're going to focus on this usage mostly today. We're going to talk about a little bit about this one, but this is the main one where we use it very commonly. So first, before we even talk about the structure and how to use it with a noun or an ing verb, I just want to teach you real quick a very useful fixed expression. It's worth it. It's worth it. So what does this mean? Basically, this translates to 가치가 있다. It's worth it. But as far as I know, this doesn't actually translate really well in Korean because you don't really say this a lot, 가치가 있다. But in English, we say this a lot, which is what I said before. We say this all the time. In what kind of situations do we say this? When you're trying to kind of tell someone that they should do something, trying to convince someone that they should do something, or reassure someone that they should do something, especially if they don't know whether they should do it because of the cost or the effort. So, for example, the new Batman movie is a little bit long. It's 3 hours long, right? Some people don't like to go see movies that are 3 hours long, and my friend asked me, how is the new Batman movie? It's 3 hours long. Should I go see it? I'm not sure. And I said, you know what? It's a little bit long, but it's worth it. Meaning, yes, you should go see it. There is enough reason or justification for you to go see this movie. Whether that's the acting or whatever, the action sequences, it's got some good stuff in it, so you should see it. It's worth it. The opposite would just be, it's not worth it. Okay? So let's say the action was not good in the new Batman movie. The acting was not good in the new Batman movie. And it's 3 hours long, and for 3 hours you're just really bored. Well, in that case, when your friend asks you, hey, how's the new Batman movie? Should I go see it? You would say this, it's not worth it. Okay? So these two fixed expressions are extremely common and very useful. So go ahead and start using them. So next, I want to talk about how to use this structure to be worth plus a noun. Okay? And the first example is pretty straightforward. First example, gold is worth a lot of money. Gold is worth a lot of money. Here, we're using it with a noun, money. And actually here we're talking about this first usage. We're talking about the value of gold. Gold is worth a lot of money. Okay, meaning, yeah, gold has a lot of value. Okay, so that one is pretty straightforward. The second one, we're talking about this second usage. This class isn't worth my time. So again, here we're using it with a noun. We're using it with a noun. This class isn't worth my time. What does this mean? It means it's not very good. I shouldn't take it. There isn't enough reason or justification for me to take it. Maybe the teacher isn't good, or the textbook is really bad, is really badly written, So just means basically the class isn't good and I shouldn't take it. I hope that no one would ever say this about my class or my little lesson here. So here we saw how to use it with a noun. Now let's move on. Let's go ahead and look at how to use this with an ing verb. How do we use this with an ing verb? Pretty simple. To be worth plus an ing verb. Okay, and our first example is pretty straightforward as well. The Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China is worth visiting. The Great Wall of China is worth visiting. A few years ago, I went to China, and of course, the first thing I did when I got to Beijing was visit the Great Wall of China. Why? Because it's really famous, and everyone knows about the Great Wall of China. But when I went, there was a lot of fog, and you actually couldn't see very much of the Great Wall. But still, I think the Great Wall of China is worth visiting. There is enough reason and justification for me to visit the Great Wall of China just because it's such an amazing sight. It's so great. Okay, so the Great Wall of China is worth visiting. If you go to China, you should definitely visit the Great Wall of China. Okay, so that's our first example. Our second example is a little bit different, the structure, but here we go. It's not worth waking up. It's not worth waking up early. It's actually never really worth waking up early, if you ask me. No, that's not true. Sometimes you have to go to work and it's worth waking up early. Or sometimes maybe there's some kind of special event in the morning and it's worth waking up early. But in my opinion, it's not worth waking up early to watch the Olympics. Okay? So this year we had the Olympics in London and it was a big deal. Everyone got excited, but I didn't watch any of it. Why? Because in Korea, the Olympics were playing really early in the morning, and if I wanted to watch the Olympics, I had to wake up like at 3 in the morning, and I don't want to do that. Why? Because the Olympics are okay, but they're not that exciting to me, so I don't think I should wake up early, just to watch the Olympics. Alright? Maybe the World Cup, I like soccer, so maybe the World Cup, I would say it's worth waking up early to watch the World Cup, but not the Olympics. Maybe not everyone agrees with me. So here we're using it with an ing verb. Worth visiting, worth waking up early. Okay, good. Now we can actually move on. These are the two basic structures, but there are other ways that you can kind of change the structure a little bit. So let's look at that real quick before we wrap up this lesson about worth, how to use this word worth. So here, the ing verb is actually at the end of the sentence. But if you want, you can put it at the beginning of the sentence. You can say, verb ing is worth it. Verb ing is worth it. And if we look at this last sentence, it says it's not worth waking up early. So again, waking up is in the second part. We can move this to the first part. We can just say waking up early to watch the Olympics isn't worth it, in my opinion. Okay, so there we used the verb ing at the beginning, and there's one last kind of way to use this structure. Here we're using it with it's, and if you use it with it's, you can use it like this. It's worth it plus to verb. Okay, so this is a little bit different, but it's still the same meaning. So here we say it's not worth waking up early to watch the Olympics. You can also say waking up early to watch the Olympics isn't worth it. Or you can change the structure. Again, you can say it's not worth it to wake up early to watch the Olympics. Okay, so there's actually a lot of different ways that you can use this structure. The main ones, again, are up here, I think. To be worth plus a noun, or to be worth plus an ing verb. But you also have these two down here. All of them are quite common, so I would recommend getting used to using all of them. So that's it for today's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.